Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG-TV with Dan the Voice Diker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Riker. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, in La Crosse on 3rd Street downtown and George and Gillette Street. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. And by the D&D Diner. Good food, fine wine on Theater Road in Sparta, next to the BP Truck Stop.
Welcome in, race fans. Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG-TV, along with Paul Reichert, the Stat Man, Tiny, we like to call him, and Billy Doc Niles, who everyone calls Tiny. Welcome to the program.
They don't.
Can you believe it? We actually have video footage of an actual racetrack holding a race last weekend.
And it was our racetrack, and it was some great racing, too. All across the board. A little tough getting that late model feature done, but the rest of them were just some fun races to watch. 29-car field for the street stocks, which was kind of surprising. 25 started the late models. They got it down to 10 at one point and back up to 11. And we're going to spend the first two segments showing you that and a whole lot more. The entire Wood Racing family is going to be joining us in the program today. But before all that, we'll need to let you know the program brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, D&D Diner in Sparta. I had the D&D burger up there the other day. You did?
It had a jalapeno bacon jam.
Oh, my.
That's what I said, and then I cried.
Is that something Paul could beat you at? Or?
Oh, I know.
Well, I saw on the menu this week they had a new burger, the Legacy Burger.
They have a Legacy Burger, and she's getting ready to introduce the Taco Burger, which we got to sample.
Oh, my.
It was good. Epic Media and Vinyl, back 40 wraps, and fansmedia.com. Just ran into El Losi the other day, told him the shirts looked fantastic. Let's go right to the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway where, well, this was kind of a crapshoot of who was going to win this race. Steve Carlson. This is a hard thing to do, Billy Doc Niles, as we show you the last two. When was the last time a driver won 4 in a row?
I can't remember. Maybe Majeski did it a couple years ago. I'm not sure, but 4 in a row, and especially this year with the numbers and the car count, really tough to do. But let's face it, he would have had a tougher battle had Nick Paninsky not got a flat tire with about 11 laps to go. But he did get a little bit of a challenge, as you see here. Somebody we haven't seen in like 18 years making a run for a feature win. His brother, Tom Carlson, in that 55 car. What a great night he had. Second in his heat, second in the feature. And I was telling you while we were watching that feature, he was just so smooth passing people. And it was really fun to watch. And then afterwards, if you get to see the show on Thursday night, the replay, the smile on his face, man, you couldn't have slapped it off him. He was so happy.
Now, Steve Carlson told me in the post-race interview after winning that race, he told his pit crew to watch the 55. Tom's got a good car tonight. He's been awfully smooth, and that is exactly what we saw. Nick Paninsky cuts down a tire. We all thought he went down a lap, got the lucky dog, fought his way through the field, and finished third. And we're going to show you how he did that in segment number 2. To the sportsman we go. Chris Webber is using a backup motor, and you really couldn't tell Billy Doc Niles because if you watch the last two of this one right here, it looked like this was the one he started the year with.
Yeah, he was just one spot away from the clean sweep and the dash, but what a great finish to this one. Webber and Bachman, Webber running a really good line, and Bachman just trying to find any way to get around him. He goes high, he goes low. As you watch in the last 2 laps here, makes a couple of stabs at it, just doesn't quite have it. So it was by far the best sportsman feature of the year to watch.
Yeah, I was waiting for Steve to try to make that move to get around Bachman or Webber for the lead, but I thought, oh, come on, Steve, you can do this. But Webber, even though with that backup motor, he really looked good.
Yeah, Webber was really smooth and ran a great line.
Going back to the late model points, Steve Carlson now has a 24-point lead over Nick Paninsky, 69 over, Brent Kirschner in the sportsman. That lead's slimmed. Bachman holding a 1-point lead over Chris Webber, 43 points back.
Well, and let's give a little background there. The reason that shrunk up so bad is Bachman goes out to qualify, and the sleigh cylinder breaks on his clutch, and he ends up coasting into the pits, loses points in qualifying, ends up winning the heat, but he lost 6 points for the qualifying and didn't quite make up any, hardly at all.
Another name that hasn't been back at the Speedway in quite a while won himself a Thunderstock feature on Saturday night. Let's share the last 2 laps of this one right here. John Grosskopf, once he got the lead, Billy Doc Niles, he was having flashbacks of about 15 years ago.
16 years ago, to be exact. It's been 16 years since John Grosskopf won a feature, and You know, it's like I was saying the other night. You know, it's cool to see guys like Groskopf and Danny Gallagher coming back to the show or to the class, and what a great job Johnny G did winning his heat and his feature.
30-car field competed in street stocks, and again, this was a crapshoot. You could have thrown any number down and imagine anybody could have won this thing. Benjamin Arndt, 3 times a charm in his 3rd BMW, gets a feature win.
Benjamin BMW Arndt, what a great! He got out to a really nice lead. They caught some traffic. Looked like the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th was going to catch him. He's the first one through traffic, and just a nice smoother on his. He runs away with this win.
Looking at the points now, Mark Chalet does have the point lead for the Thunder Stocks. He leads Jason Bolster by 10, Brandon Gallagher by 48, Jacinta Paff and Charles Vian Jr. in the top 5. Street Stocks, this one's going to be interesting. Alex Root is 35 points back in 5th. Then it goes Matt Moore, John Burbach, Clayton Hastings, and Chris Larson. Where is Clayton Hessing coming from this year?
He was pretty impressive. I mean, he made some really cool moves to get to the front of that feature the other night. He won his heat race. That guy is on a roll. All of a sudden, he's fast. He's won a feature. He's won a heat race at Tomah and here at La Crosse. He's one to look out for towards the end of the year. Do got
to make mention as we're coming up on Fan Photo Night this weekend. How about 12 cars in the Hornet division? And all right, so if you look at the 12th place car, how many points back do you think he is from first?
I'm going to guess 15.
24.
No, that's not bad.
You have 2 ties. Chalmers and Town are tied for 2nd. Tied for 5th is Bjorkman and Turner. Then you have another tie for 7th between Berg and Stanfield. So you have 12 cars, all 24 points.
Who's leading?
Brandon Lemoyne.
Well, yeah, he's won both features.
It's Brandon Lemoyne, Jake Chalmers, former champ Nate Towner, Patrick Tickey, and Cheyenne Stanfield, your top 5. Chris Berg, your other former champ, is still in the top 8. Jake Bemis, your 3rd former champ that's racing this year, sitting in 13th, and he's got a little bit of a ways to go. Brandon Lemoyne, best looking here at the Speedway, only because Carter Christensen cut his. And he's got pencils and some gum stuck in there. Nobody wants to chance him to try to cut that thing. When we come back, we've got some more replays. It was, I don't want to use the word crash fest. It was a lot of tiptoeing going on at the Speedway. And highlights, the Tomah Sparta Speedway coming up next. 7 Rivers Racing.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
4 years in a row and counting. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer at Big Boar Barbecue. Once again, La Crosse County has voted us the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County. Making great ribs and great barbecue has always been my passion, and it means a great deal to me that you love what we do. If you haven't tried our ribs, pulled pork, brisket, or smoked chicken, try it and you'll agree. Big Boar Barbecue, a delicious mouthful.
Yeah!
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter.
Hey, Dave.
Like giving Jeff his ladder back before he takes it back. Or where to put the food when you both get the groceries. Or the doggy door that just became a raccoony door. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call today for your free estimate on a new American Standard system or schedule online at careyheating.com.
At the D&D Diner, you can expect hometown meals, hometown service, and hometown prices. Hi, this is Dale with the D&D Diner in Sparta, your new home for great food, cold beer, and fine wines. Whether it's a big breakfast, a tasty lunch, or traditional dinner, you'll find it on our menu. Whether it's Friday night fish dinners, Saturday night prime rib, or our many daily specials, your place for great food at fantastic prices is the D&D Diner in Sparta.
Welcome back, race fans. Simmers Racing KQEG TV, a very anxious racing family waiting right behind that camera right there to join us. The Wood Racing family is going to be up here in just a couple of moments. A lot of things went on at the Speedway Saturday night. I didn't even eat as much as I normally do because I showed up late. I didn't DJ a wedding in the morning and the afternoon. But all the activity in the track, well, it started. Let's roll this one right here. How about the start of the late model feature? Can you say brake check? Brake check is what it was. Looks like Todd Korsh got a little loose coming off of turn 2 and didn't quite get up to speed going down the backstretch, and it started stacking guys up. Unfortunately, the 2 victims in that one were Brad Powell and Matt Henderson. Cole Howland able to throw some duct tape at it and come back in and out during some yellow flags. But, wow, it was just the start of things to come. pink duct tape is not Cole Howland's color of choice.
Well, I'm sure there was some Christensen help because he's parked right there.
We'll get to the Christensens here in just a minute. Wreck number 2. How about this one coming out of turn 2? John Eckelberg. We felt the shot up in the tower. And the end result of this one was a chipped kneecap, which we found out was the injury that resulted on Monday. And then midweek last week, I see a picture. It was kind of a horrible picture of this guy hugging the front of a race car. Billy Doc Niles' final late model has left the building. Explain that to us quickly.
Well, my last late...
Can we get a tissue? He's crying.
My last late model has left the stable. John's car was, if you just saw the video, John's car is mangled. It's bad. And his mom and dad and his teammate Justin Mulliken were up to our shop Monday night and inspected my last late model and liked what they saw, and it left in their trailer. That was me trying to push it back out. I wasn't crying or anything.
He was crying like a baby. Should be ready by July 3rd is the word that I was seeing from Eckelberg.
And hopefully
Racing.
John is ready by July 3rd also.
When they have double features, which they just rescheduled, coming up on July 3rd.
My seat is still in that. I'm available to sub.
Wreck number 3, my heart sank when I saw father versus son versus Mike Eady right here on the French straightaway. I watched this one right here. Eady's backwards facing the wrong way. Carter Christensen, his damage isn't too bad, but man, oh man, Paul Reichard, you and I were both yelling when we saw what happened to Kenny.
Yeah, Ken got worse than that. I think that's Bill. I think you said that was his backup car.
That's the backup car for Carter. That's the old one that he started with a few years ago. And man, I looked up and all I saw was a pink car going airborne, and Kenny really took the brunt of that. It's going to be a while before that car sees the track again.
Talked to Carter. He said he may be back out this weekend. Ken said it's just a bunch of bolt-on stuff, so he's going to try to make it out at least by July 3rd after what we saw on the racetrack. All right, let's go to wreck number 4. This one's in the street stocks. And, Reckless John Clausen has the nickname Reckless for a purpose.
Yes.
Really nowhere to go on this one. Man, he was coming out of turn 4 like breakfast was being served.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'd said to you on our radio that, he come flying off a 4. They came at it. You see they're going to come at a lapped car, and he put the metal to it and blew her off of turn 4 and drove her straight into the front stretch wall and came back across and started collecting cars, and what a way to end your night.
To the Thunder stocks we go. Earlier in the evening, David Gallagher and Jacinda Paffin locked bumpers. As soon as they got free, there was rust all over the place. Someone left a pipe up in the corners. Then coming out of turn 4, you're going to watch this one right here. Jacinda Paff gets nailed, facing the wrong way, and her radiator said good night.
Yes, she's had some rough luck here the last couple of weeks with getting involved in wrecks, and just another. I don't like seeing that for her, so hopefully she'll be able to be back out next week.
She's still running a top 5 in points. Very, very solid. All right, here is a menagerie of Nick Panitsky. We're going to show you last place. Cut a tire down. Nick's going to go from last to the middle of the racetrack to finishing 3rd. Now, Nick was putting drivers away, Billy Doc Niles, like it was nobody else's business.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we're going to get the whole clip of him passing everybody, but I think he actually took 2 to 3 cars.
Jesse's going to do some spot shooting.
And I think he got 2 to 3 cars in one corner alone. That's just... he cut a right front tire down. If you saw the one restart, all of a sudden everybody started going by him, and he parked it in turn 4 to get the yellow flag and then go in the pits and change it. But he lost a lap. He was able to get the lap back on the next yellow, and wow, what an impressive display of driving he put on just to get back to 3rd.
And he didn't have that many laps to do that either.
No, only like 10 or 11 laps, yeah.
That car is just set up like there's nobody's business. So that is the conclusion of the Crosse Speedway. We did have racing at Tomah Sparta Speedway last weekend.
No, really?
Yeah, we got some qualifying in, got more qualifying in, and in a 5-second span, here is the entire race night right here.
Whoa.
I hear crickets.
Whoa.
Rain again. 6th rain out I've had to go through this year.
Yeah, well, maybe it's you. Did you ever think of that?
I'm going to blame on the entire Wood family. They're the frog family. They live on lily pads. How do they survive? In water.
The one night I announced at the Speedway there was no rain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
Anyways, we did get quite a bit of qualifying through, but we stopped it during the hobby stocks. and we were going to see what happened, but obviously Mother Nature had a different scenario. Now, we are off this weekend. I get to go down to Iowa and race for the very first time, or announce for the very first time, Mid-American Stock Car Series and the Midwest Dash. It's versus their cars and their late models, the great Griffin McGrath and family. And that's going to be a speedway that's interesting. I've never been down there, but it's got a lot of history, built back in the 30s.
Yeah, back in the 30s, it originally was a dirt track, paved in '89. It's been paved, running late models and modifieds and sportsmen ever since then.
You ever run Hawkeye Downs?
I've never even been to Hawkeye Downs.
I was there for their quarter-mile challenge where they run that quarter mile, even the light models back in September of 2000. They had a show.
The late models on the quarter.
They even had Dick Henderson from Florida there.
Yeah, that's
and Mike Belling was even there too.
Half-mile track. Looking forward to that. Real quickly, Tomah Sparta points. We finally have a chance to read those off. Denny Schott leads Paul Brown by 10 for the modifieds. Patrick Tickey leads Wayne Mulsby by 10 for the Midwest Dash Series points. Sportsman, it's Tom Farah over Jason Stark. Would like to see Jason come out again. In the Hornets, Alex DeVito leads Brandon Bergstrom by 2. Our guest coming up next is in 5th place in points so far this year. Hobby Stocks, Jeff LeFay Jr. leads Ike Andrews 218-98. Can you say winner?
Running away is what you say there.
6 shooters, it's Matt Moore versus Dan Fry, then the rest of the field. And coming up on June 29th, there's mid-season championships. Mod Sportsman, Hobby Stocks, Dash, Hornets, 6 shooters. Super Cup cars are going to be there in a huge fireworks show. We're going to talk more about Tomah Sparta Speedway next here on 7 Rivers Racing.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue is up and running on the north side of La Crosse. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer at Big Boar Barbecue. Yes, the food truck is open at George and Gillette Street to make it easier for you north siders to find out why La Crosse County has voted us 4 years in a row as the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County. Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and now open at George and Gillette Street. A delicious mouthful.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter.
Hey, Dave.
Like giving Jeff his ladder back before he takes it back. Or where to put the food when you both get the groceries. Or the doggy door that just became a raccoony door. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call today for your free estimate on a new American Standard system or schedule online at careyheating.com.
At the D&D Diner, you can expect hometown meals, hometown service, and hometown prices. Hi, this is Dale with the D&D Diner in Sparta, your new home for great food, cold beer, and fine wines. Whether it's a big breakfast, a tasty lunch, or traditional dinner, you'll find it on our menu. Whether it's Friday night fish dinners, Saturday night prime rib, or our many daily specials, your place for great food at fantastic prices is the D&D Diner in Sparta.
Welcome back, 7 Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, along with Billy Doc Niles. We put Paul Reichert in the dunce corner.
In the corner.
Segment.
Yep. Don't ever say that stuff again.
He was naughty during segment 2. You know, this colors would have looked real cool today if this guy would have worn that yellow shirt, because you'd have had blue, yellow. What kind of balance would that have been? Lonnie had to do it again.
I have no light.
Long-time Hornet driver Lonnie Wood Jr. is going to be joining us now on the program, along with his dad, Lonnie Wood Sr. Now, you raced how long?
Oh, boy. I think by about 4 years, I think.
That was it?
That's it?
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Well, because you ran Crosse Speedway, and then you ran Tomah.
Right, I did lacrosse for about 3 years, and Tomah by about 2 years. So I made like 5 years.
Okay, what about you? How long have you been running this thing?
Well, all door is my year. Been mine.
Really?
Yeah.
See how it lasted him.
Oh yeah.
Now you have to tell me. You know you got a score sheet sitting at home someplace. How many times have you beaten your dad?
I think once every year.
Once every year. Oh, that hurts.
Well, let's start out back to the beginning. What got you into racing? What made you want to get into a car and start racing?
Well, actually, I was seeing my son was out there racing by himself, and that, and I kind of want to follow behind him at first.
Well, that made it feel better.
Make him feel safe, and then I started passing him up. Then I had then it was a rivalry between us two.
So what? Okay, so if he followed you into racing, what got you into racing?
Aki maastoffen. Aki the main tuition.
Okay.
Yeah, my first date at the Speedway.
Okay.
And now I introduced racing to me.
Okay.
There's a lot of people have had first dates at the Speedway. A lot of them. Then they get married. Now, I'm not saying you guys are going to get married at the Speedway, but I've seen a lot of momentous pictures like that. A lot of first things happen at that La Crosse Speedway. To the point, let's see, I'm trying to think. I was going to ask your mom how long ago it was that I met you guys. It's been 7, 8, 9...
2010.
2000, it's been 8 years. The year of the infamous Bill Doc Niles ripping the microphone out of my hand, interviewing me that. Were you guys there that night? Did he just watch that video that day? To the point where you guys, the whole, and the other family were pointing to, they're off camera. We're going to bring them in here in just a minute. You had such a large fan base that I named that designated area just to the right of the Flagstone, the Lily Pound.
Yeah.
You guys thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that was.
I was going to spray paint it on that, but then they ripped all the seats up and put new ones in.
Yeah, I thought that.
You know what's funny? Not funny, but it's great to see. These are Hornet drivers, and they were coming with 10, 15, 20 fans, Billy Doc Niles, every single race.
And you look at the lower classes like the street stocks, the Hornets, the minivans. They're bringing their fans with them. That's the bigger those classes get, the bigger the fan base gets, and that's I think that's a pretty cool thing. I mean, you saw we had 30 street stocks last week at La Crosse, and they had their fans with them. It was really cool. So, the more those numbers grow and they filter up into the upper classes, the more the crowd's going to grow. I see now you have a Tomah Speedway official shirt on.
Yeah.
What do you do at the Tomah Speedway?
I count the cars for my wife. My wife writes down on the paper where the position the cars are at, and I watch the cars go past the finish line, and I got to call the car number out for her so she can write them down.
You can't continually call his number out just to get him in first.
No.
You know, but if you watch, I mean, Lonnie's currently sitting 5th in points as Tomah's off this weekend, and he has a legitimate shot, depending upon what Dan Fry and Jeff Ron Rudin do, to finish in the top 3 this year, which that would be the highest you've ever finished.
Yes, it will be.
So, all right. So besides helping with scoring, what other duties do you have at the track?
Well, I do the lineups for the races per race.
Okay.
I do all the lineups and everything, all the cars, get them in order and that.
Okay. So you're pretty much behind the scenes.
Yep.
And then again behind the scenes, what does Sandy do?
She does all the. She lays down all the when cars are qualifying. She writes down the qualifying time on all the 2 laps.
And what does the daughter do?
She interviews all the drivers out there and get them on their sponsors, so they'll be on a flyer.
And don't worry, folks, we'll get them all in here on the last segment. All of them except one are wearing a yellow shirt.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a talk about your wardrobe next time.
You must have missed the family meeting.
I think I did.
You know, one of the coolest things, and I've known you guys, I mean, really, really closely for quite a long time now, is there was a time for 4 or 5 years that Lonnie would videotape, and I mean, this guy was the king of videotape. He would videotape. He had frogs on his Facebook just the other day. Would videotape everything, make his own videos, his whole house. He's got hot shots in his racing suit and checkered flags and the whole shebang, and then he ties it into his race fans. And the way you update your Facebook is how I love to see what racers are doing nowadays. You're constantly saying the word fans in there. Why do you have such a fixation on your fans?
Well, the band actually why I'm doing it. You know, when you have to race in other people balance you, or when you walk up there than our stuff, that actually was down to is the fan. More band, more wisdom. So I'm more want to think like bird or not.
More fans, more racing. Genius statement right there.
Everything he has to do with the fans. There was a point a couple years ago, you asked the fans what color if you should change your car color, because they've always been green.
Yeah, you don't want to change that. I mean, that's pretty much your signature right there.
But he did this year. Why did you all of a sudden you get away from the green, and now you've got it, which your wrap job looks nice with the stripes on it. Well, they know the green 8. That didn't change. What led you to change colors this year?
Well, we've been doing Bing the Wong, and the bit like worn out. So well, this year we will do something with the big bent to make our dollar pop a bit more.
And there was a time they were both green.
And yeah, their numbers were almost the same, but people had a hard time telling you guys apart. Tell you, Dan, we only got a couple minutes left. We should bring in the rest of the family.
Let's bring them all in here. We're going to get you all up
step
here.
in the back here.
And while they're doing that, tell us who your sponsors are, because you always have a nice, impressive list of sponsors every year.
Wash Sunny Day is my main one. Dimpin Doctorus, DNR Body, and the Word Vinyl.
Of course, Donna K's.
Yes.
When are you going to bring some Donna K samples to the racetrack?
Well, I will talk to him this weekend at Bettino.
I think Donna K's needs to come out and do some Billy Doc Niles and some Dan Diker and Paul Riker samplings.
You mean the Diker sampler player?
Nothing wrong with that.
We know what Mom does at the track. What do you do?
I'm doing a project called Hey Race Fans, for like all the fans can know what driver, like what fan would, for the fans can know what driver is driving what vehicle.
Okay.
And that's something that Greg Oliver's bringing back that they originally did in Tomah back in the 60s, is you actually had a race program. You walk in, here's a lineup
The
tonight.
old days, yeah, the old point sheet type thing.
You open it up, there's a driver profile, you turn this way, there's the points, and you got some business sponsors in the back end of that right there. And Greg even found the original gal that did that back in the 60s and the 70s at Tomah Sparta Speedway, and kind of got her permission, hey, do you mind if I redo this again? And she said, oh, not a problem. So hopefully we start seeing these, because I can't wait to see what they look like.
Yeah,
that's a big responsibility.
He's got a new thing on in his car now, the 360 camera. That way you can see what the driver is doing, and plus, around the car itself, what's going on.
This guy's stepping up into NASCAR here. Holy cow, 360.
That'll be awesome. Did you put that on Facebook every week?
On YouTube.
YouTube?
Yep, it's on
okay,
YouTube.
what's your YouTube channel?
WWE DC Bulk.
Okay.
We're gonna have to find some of that video.
Definitely. That sounds really cool. The 360 in the car. That would be awesome.
You can actually look at the driver, then you can look at the track, and
because let's admit it, the driver can't do no 360.
No. I need a 360 cam up on the tower. That would be cool.
Nobody wants to see what you do from behind.
This is true. They've seen it long enough. The entire wood racing family, one of the largest families, one of the longest racing families, whether they're racing or just working in the motorsports industry, joining us in the program. You're also going to hear them on 1460 WBOG this weekend. They're going to be on the Saturday Race Report. It's going to do it for the program. Billy and I got a skedaddle. Lots going on at the Speedway this weekend. Boy, Tomah is off, so I'm going to be heading to Iowa on Friday to race, to announce, and we'll show you what that looked like next week as well. On behalf of the entire Wood clan and their kids and grandchild sitting over there, for Billy Doc Niles and Paul Reichert, who's going to take the dunce cap off right now, I'm radio man Dan Diker. We'll see you next week right here, 7 Rivers Racing.
You've been watching 7 Rivers Racing on KQEG TV with Dan the Voice Diker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Reichert. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, in La Crosse on 3rd Street downtown and George and Gillette Street. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. And by the D&D Diner, good food, fine wine, on Theater Road in Sparta, next to the BP Truck Stop. Thanks for watching 7 Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
4 years in a row and counting. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer at Big Boar Barbecue. Once again, La Crosse County has voted us the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County. Making great ribs and great barbecue has always been my passion, and it means a great deal to me that you love what we do. If you haven't tried our ribs, pulled pork, brisket, or smoked chicken, try it and you'll agree. Big Boar Barbecue, a delicious mouthful.
Yeah!